Yeah.
Okay, this is amazing. So if you are joining us around the world, let me just work on the board. Okay. If you are joining us around the world, this is still the Global Talkative Series with our guest today, Olakunle Shorian, a polymath, iconoclast, strategist, culture shaper, keynote speaker. Now, this is the second part of this broadcast, and this is the first time we're doing this back to back. We've had a couple of guests on this show that audience around the world have requested that okay, we need him to come back, and I'm not surprised that it's happening today because I know this man. It's a man of many parts, and while we were on break, someone was asking by the name of Dr. Yinka Marcos that if Pastor Kunle has a book. So, do you want to tell our audience if your book is
Yes.
out, they can get the book?
Yes. Yes. I have so many products, and I'm going to. So in the last since COVID began, I've spent a lot of time documenting what I believe is the critical thinking for people in this season. And so if you go to learn, learn,
Let
as
me
in
just put that on
learning.
the screen. Can you just
Yes,
L
learn
L
dot
E A R N?
learn learn dot
Yeah,
Kenneth Shurion store,
Shorian Store.
KennethShurionStore.com. Learn.KennethShurionStore.com. That is
Learn dot K Shorian.
Kenneth, Kenneth,
Kenneth Shorian. Okay.
Kenneth, Kenneth, Shurion, Soriyam,
Store
store.com.
.com.
So
It's going to be on the
that is
screen
what I'm
now. For
focusing
those
right
who
now.
are interested in getting Learn dot Kenneth Shorian
That's
Store.
it.
So if you're interested in getting some of the products of our guest today, the link is on our screen. If you're watching on YouTube and Facebook, learn dot Kenneth Shorian
Store.
store.com.
Yes.
So while we were going on break, there was a
You,
question.
you may also want to send it to the guys on Instagram because
Okay.
I see
Uh,
somebody asked there. Learn
okay.
dot
For
Shurion
those on
store.
Instagram, let me just type that in now. Mm. Okay, I want to just put in the book, the link.
Learn dot
But
Shurion store.
okay,
Great.
that is the link. In
Awesome.
case you need the materials for our speaker.
Great.
So thank you very much for taking time to come back on this
Thank you.
show. So we have a lot of guests around the world joining again, and the question that I have now is: a man conflicted with pursuing his career and transformational ideas that seems to hold great results, but the conflict of survivor seem too strong. How do you find balance?
So survival is a very interesting condition, legitimate as well. But it's a. I mean, there is the Maslow's hierarchy of need, and survival is right there, at the bottom. And once you are governed by survival, when you are governed by the need to drink and to eat and to dress and to, you will be around, but you will never generate force. I'm sorry to say, you have to transcend the limits of those, smallness of the human condition for you to be able to generate any type of force in the world, and it's real, and I say to people, if you are still trying to eat, then don't attempt anything great yet. It's just because it is the person that is well that can donate blood.
Hmm.
You see, it is the person that is well that can do it. I mean, it's as crude as that proverb. It is the person that is well. There is a wellness that is required for you to donate blood. If you go to the hospital
Yeah.
and you tell them you want to offer them all your blood for free, and you are sick in your body, or you have a blood condition, maybe you are HIV positive. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to put down those who are HIV positive, but if you are HIV positive, you are not going to be allowed to donate blood.
Yeah.
You have a good intention. You want to share every part of your blood, but that blood for that goal is incapable of offering support. So I tell people, build capacity. You want to grow capacity. There's limit to how much of a visionary you can be, how much mission you can execute. When you are still dealing with the baser issues of life, like how to eat and how to go out and come back and how to clothe and shelter. Those are very justifiable pursuits, justifiable human need, but they are also primary. They are foundational. They are things you have to transcend before you can make your contribution at the highest level in life. So I tell people, then what you need to do is simple. It's either you get a job and I'm signed up with people that are already doing something, because there are only two people in any economy. Only two people: those who start something and those who work for those who start something. And none is inferior. It's about role play.
Wow.
Most people have to go through one before they arrive at the other. Most people. Very few people, either by the gift of nature, or by default, some default of providence of some sort, or there's just some level of outliers who are just able to move straight to creating something. But for most people, they will have to work for someone before they start what they are doing. And some people are going to work for someone forever, because I also think the idea of entrepreneurship is unfair and oppressive when communicated as a blanket experience for everybody. I think at every point in time, you are either a Moses or an Aaron. If you are an Aaron, you are called to a Moses. If you are a Moses, you are called to a people. And at times, you have to be an Aaron for a while before you function as a Moses. And at times, you are a Moses from day one. And at times, you are an Aaron for life. The guy who is serving someone for life should not feel inferior. I mean, if you look at the former CEO of Google, Eric Schmidt. Eric Schmidt was a staff all his life. And he was former CEO for Pepsi before he was hired in Google. When he was leaving Google, he was given a gift of $100 million.
Wow.
I mean, there are entrepreneurs who will never end that till they die. I tell people, if entrepreneurship is the definition of meaning, then you don't need to do anything. Just get a packet of sweets, stay in front of a house, and start selling. You are the CEO. You are the CEO of that packet of sweets. So if the CEO title is what makes the difference, there are a lot of CEOs in town, right, who are just bouncing on one spot doing nothing. So there's no point, putting ourselves down because we are not the ones starting. You don't have to start. You just join those who start. And then if you have all the resources and the room to start something, then you start. For me, I did not have the privilege of even being able to work under someone, because I spent 12
Yeah, I just see that it's I'm just trying to see if it's working or something. Instagram is working, yeah, but this, let me try and refresh and maybe enter the studio again. The on the laptop or on the computer. Let me the same let me just try and send. I think the same link is still gonna work. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. So where was I?
Talking about you were mentioning something about you said something regarding the CEO.
Yes, role playing.
Yeah.
So I was saying that it's about role playing. So people have to find their ease to not beat themselves down and to understand that where you are, you may need some level of apprenticeship, because I tell people, once you are over 25, once you are over 25, you have lost your right to see 30 days without an income.
Wow.
Once you are over 25, you have lost your right. So you can't tell me you are still dreaming or you are preparing, but you are not making money at 25, because at 25, society holds you down to your social progression. There are 4 levels of progression. There is mental progression, right? There is social progression. There is missionary progression, and there's visionary progression, right? So mental progression has 2 parts: academics and education. Okay. Academics is what you are taught. Education is what you teach yourself. Now, academics must have a lifespan. You cannot be in school forever. You will be in school at some point. You must stop schooling. You must stop academics.
Yeah.
But you will be in education till you die. In that, because the energy of education is self-improvement and observation. Education works through self-improvement and education. Education is an observation rather. Education is not academics. Academics is what you are taught. Education is what you teach yourself, right? And so if you go to school, you must stop going to school at some point. Maybe you have a BSc, you have a master's, you have a PhD. You have to stop going to school at some point. But you will be a student for life, in that you will always be learning. Yeah. But your learning is not in an organized environment anymore, which is what academics is. The objective of academics is regulation. The goal of education is transformation. So when you go to school, when you see 2 people holding a knife, 2 people are holding a knife, both of them can put the knife in your tummy, but one of them can wake you up 2 hours later.
Wow.
The other one cannot wake you up. That's the difference between a surgeon and a killer. You see?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's academics that allow you to know the one to go and see when you need surgery. Both of them can. So 2 people can debate. They are good debaters, but one of them can save you from going to jail. One of them can. Both of them can argue, but one of them can save you from going to jail. That's the difference between a debater and a lawyer.
Yeah.
You see? So when you need to get out of a judgment, you need academics allow you to know the one to go and see. So the goal of academics is order in society and regulation in society. But that is not the limit of the human condition. Education is superior to academics. That is why first in class is not first in life, right? Yes. And so we have to move into that. And then education is what you teach yourself, which is the ability of the human soul to experience its environment, to question it deep enough to find the options that exist in it, and to know the ones to embrace as a matter of supreme importance and urgency. I'll take it again. Education is the ability of the human spirit to experience its environment, then to question it deep enough to find the options that exist in it, and to know the ones to embrace as a matter of supreme importance and urgency. By that definition, a lot of people are not educated, even with a PhD. Even with a PhD.
Yes.
Because they cannot question their environment. They cannot find the options that exist in their environment. So when people commit suicide, it's not hopelessness that kills them. There's something that precedes hopelessness, which is cluelessness.
Wow.
Right? Cluelessness precedes hopelessness. When the human mind cannot photograph the next minute and the many minutes after it. That's cluelessness. That is what brews the frustration that creates the depression and the hopelessness that leads to suicide.
Wow.
You see? So education is very key for the human spirit. There's something higher than education, though, which is revelation. But that's not for today.
Yeah.
That's not for today. So education is key, and that is why people like Bill Gates did not have the privilege. They did not have the time to complete academics, but they are educated.
Yes.
They left the university, they left academics, but it's ruling the world today with education. Mark Zuckerberg is ruling the world with education, right? So academics is a demonstration of a level, on the human journey. But there's a higher commitment, and education has done a lot in the world. Has given us merchant banking, has given us the internet, gave us social media, has given us, we went to the moon, we built merchant banking, we constructed the pyramid. Education has done a lot in the world, right? So I challenge people to, when struggling with survival, to release themselves to education, to be part of another person's dream so that you can earn. Because once you are 25, in some societies like Canada or the United States, is once you are 18. Once you are 18, you have lost your right to see 30 days without earning, right? Because in first world countries like Canada or the United States or the United Kingdom, they are regulated societies.
Yeah.
Everything is automated, including your punishment. Including your punishment. So it's automated. Nobody's going to tell you, oh, you have not paid your bills. Once you don't pay it, just lose the service. It impacts on your credit. All of that just begins to happen. So you are responsible for your state. In China, there's something called social credit score. And when you commit offenses and you misbehave in China, your social credit score can be so low that you are denied access to enter to get into a train. There are people in China who cannot fly a plane. They are not allowed to fly a plane because of a low social credit score. It's incredible. So I challenge people to embrace their highest assets, which is mental weaponry. At the end of the day, all you need is your brain, your hand under God. Your hand, your brain under God. You can architect any level of relevance for yourself. And I tell people, when people are poor, what they lack is, one, they are not creative. When you don't have money in your pocket, you are not creative. Number two, you have a poor people network. A poor person, there's nothing like unemployment. There's only poor people network. There's nothing like lack of momentum. When you are creative, you are humble, and you have a sound, usable, transferable network of people, you can never be stranded. That is my counsel to those people struggling with survival.
Cool. I have a question on Instagram. I'm just going to read it from someone. She said her name is Fred Fresh Austin. He said, please, I need to understand the part you said you failed and stayed 12 years. Because you are 49 and this bright.
I wasn't this smart. Okay? I used to be I don't know if you've heard about confident ignorance before. The idea that you know nothing, but you are not aware. So you carry your ignorance with a lot of class and swag. I was there, and I told you before, I spent some time on the left side of life. I was born with some clarity. I mean, at the age of 9, I was in high school. I was in high school at the age of 9. I've left middle school, what we call primary school in Africa. I've left primary school at the age of at the age of 8. I was done with primary education. I was in secondary school, which is high school here by the age of 9. By the age of 14, I was done with high school, right? So I think a part of me, a part of my nature, this clarity is part of my nature. There's a level of intelligence that comes with me, that came with me to the world. However, intelligence and wisdom are two different things. So you can be very intelligent and be a fool, you see, right? So intelligence can rob a bank, you can be very intelligent and very intelligent and use that intelligence to rob a bank or to deceive a girl and rape her or to hack somebody's account is intelligence. But wisdom, while intelligence can create evil, wisdom only multiplies good, right? So wisdom only multiplies. So when you are wise, it's only positive. But intelligence can be negative. For example, you can have a lot of skills, and once you are skillful, you are intelligent at a level, right? So if you know how to plan, that's a skill. But that skill has a nuisance value because you can plan to rob a bank, you can plan to sleep with my wife, you can plan to attack my daughter, you can plan to do anything, to cheat somebody. It's the same skill, If you have the gift, the skill of project management, that's what Adolf Hitler had. That ran a whole world war. That's project management at the highest level, right? It takes a level of intelligence to be a Bin Laden and bomb 9/11 and hide from the CIA for 10 years. That's intelligence. But all these people are not wise. So we need wisdom in the world. And I personally don't have too much respect for intelligence. Because there's something called nuisance value. And nuisance value is the value of an entity's contribution to the disorderliness, underdevelopment, and irritation of society, right? Wow. That's nuisance value.
Can you say that again, sir? Can you say that again?
Yes, sir. Nuisance value is the value of an entity's contribution to the disorderliness, underdevelopment, and irritation of society. Wow. And when I say an entity, it could be anything. It could be an idea, a person, a family, a business, a nation, whoever. The value of an entity's contribution to the underdevelopment, disorderliness, and irritation of society. That's nuisance value. And people are communicating that value on a daily basis. Wow. For me, I communicated that for years as well. I left the university in my final year, 2 months to final exam, right? Because my life was just a mess. But I left for 1 year and I gave my life to Christ. And I'm not trying to harass the Muslims on this platform, but I gave my life to Christ. That's my experience. And I went back to start year 1 again. And the school would not give me my degree. So I struggled with 8 years of extra, same school, same faculty, same university, plus my first 4 years. That was 12 years. I mean, at the end of 12 years, you should have a BSc, 2 masters, and a PhD at the end of 12 years. But at the end of 12 years, I had a BSc, and it was a third class. But I moved on to read so many things after that, to study so much more. I tell people that the human spirit is elastic. At any point in time, yesterday's fool has the room to embrace today's requirement for wisdom and to rule and champion from there, right? It's the gifts to the universe. Regardless of the history of nuisance, there's always a possibility of rebooting in wisdom today, right? And that's my own testimony. Yeah.
This is amazing. Now, Pastor Kule, given you were saying something about questioning everything, try to okay, why is this happening and why? Now, the issue on ground in our world now, we have coronavirus pandemic and the issue of racism. And for several years, the black man, the African descent, they've been questioning, why are you treating us this way? And we see the issue of George Floyd being killed. And the same questions keep coming back, that Black Lives Matter. Are we not asking the right question in terms of this harassment, this pandemic that is ravaging our world, especially in the developed countries?
Yeah, it's sad. I live in Dallas, so I'm very close to the protest, the Black Lives Matter protest here. I have people who are active in the protest, and I watch it, and I'm very pained when I saw the video of George Floyd. It was a major distraction to me emotionally. I was very pained. I was very angry as well, extremely angry. But I've also learned that anger is not a strategy, right? And a lot of times when we act in anger, we increase our susceptibility to error, and we are not thorough, So first of all, I don't think anybody can eliminate racism. And I say that with due respect. And I'm just being practical and progressive. I don't think you can eliminate racism as you cannot eliminate poverty in the world. The poor you will always have, right? Because poverty is not a political issue. It's not a policy issue. It's not a culture issue. It's a human issue. It's a human issue. It's a matter of the heart. Some people are so poor, all they have is money. They have a lot of money, but they are still poor. Because if you take, I say it every time, some people are so poor, all they have is money. If you take that money away, they have nothing else to exchange with the world, right? And so it's not about, I think we can alleviate poverty, but we cannot eliminate it. So when people say, you can't eliminate rape, I'm sorry. Say no to rape, yes, but you can't eliminate rape because nuisance is a choice. Foolishness is an office. It's the choices of mortals that will occupy it. Somebody has to be foolish, as a matter of fact, for wisdom to continue to have value. There's no way to characterize wisdom if we can eliminate foolishness. Once everybody can be wise, wisdom will be meaningless. It is the rarity of the thing that gives it value. Gold is not expensive because it's shining. In fact, raw gold does not shine. You see, it's not because it's shining. The reason gold is expensive is because it's rare. Rarity is the concept behind value. It's the energy of value. It's rarity, right? So once wisdom becomes available to all, it will become useless. You'll be surprised we'll not be arresting people for being wise. Because everybody is now wise. So for wisdom to continue to be valuable, somebody must be foolish. Now, who will be foolish, we don't know. The choice of mortals, of human beings, will determine who will be foolish. But somebody must be foolish for wisdom to continue to have value. You see what I'm saying? So in the same way, you cannot eliminate, crime in the world. You can't eliminate crime. Those are not political issues. They are not legal issues. They are issues of the human condition. And so the emancipation we need is to find freedom for the wretchedness of the human being deep in the solical context. That is what the problem is. And again, you live in a world where nobody gives you what you deserve. You get what you negotiate, and what you negotiate intentionally. And the Black community needs to also show up at a level, and that is not to cancel the history of slave trade and colonialism, that defeats so many people, that defeats the Black race everywhere. So when you look at it, I think the critical problem of the Black community in the United States is identity, because they didn't plan to be here. There's no way. I mean, Bob Marley said, "Don't forget your history, know your destiny. Don't forget your history, know your destiny." I mean, there's a sense in which your history, right, governs a critical part of your destiny, right? And the African American, does not have an ideological class, that defines him. What is American is not what he chose. His ancestors did not make the choice. Every other demographic in America, the Chinese American, the Japanese American, the European American, every other person in America chose to be in America, right? The African American did not make that choice. Their ancestors did not make that choice. That choice was forced on them. It's against their will. And so they found themselves in a culture that is foreign to them, right? And then there's been a history of oppression for 400 years. Is distracting when people are shocked at the sense of entitlement of the Black person, or the aggression in the Black person. What do you think the stories that were being told in their communities? What kind of stories do you think were being told from generation to generation? What do you think the ancestor told the ancestor that 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 told the great-great-great-grandfather that told the great-great-grandfather that told the grandfather that told the father that trained me? I mean, What do you think? What type of stories do you think they were telling me to clap for the white man, or they were telling me to do all of that? So whether we like it or not, there's been a clash, right, between the black community and the white community, and it's over 400 years old. I mean, slave trade, colonialism, all of that has happened. We cannot delete them from our history. It's a critical part of our history, and we were exploited, cheated, unfortunately, even some African Americans also, look down on Africans, immigrants in the United States. And they feel that we don't qualify, but you are from us.
Yes.
Whatever happened to you in America, a version of it happened to us in Africa. Exactly. Slave trade was the earliest experience of brain drain, because the people who were being taken out of Africa were not just anybody. They were taking able-bodied men. They were taking fishermen, warriors. They were taking blacksmiths, goldsmiths, hunters. They were the brains of the African economy. Those were the people that were being taken. They were taking the best of our women, our strongest women, our strongest men, our strongest boys. They were the ones that were taken out of Africa. So there was a brain gain. And so we still have to audit those who were left behind. Because who were those who were left behind? Were they useful to the agenda of the white man, or were they useless to the agenda of the white man? Or they were just able to hide creatively from the firepower of slave trade, or it was the corrupt kings and their cohorts. Because don't forget that slavery did not happen independently from the white man. It was a collaboration between the white man and some of our own people who sold ourselves and created so much distrust. You see, we can go deep into history, but here we are today. I wish we have another platform someday where we can discuss Black history and how we got here and where we are. But we are now here, and I think we have to learn to negotiate better. And we have to bring more intelligence and wisdom into our negotiation. And to be able to fight better. I believe in the cause of Black Lives Matter. And I think that we have to organize for it. But, I don't want to go. It's a very sensitive time. I have some very contrary views, about how we are going about all of these things. I have some very contrary views. But when somebody is in pain and mourning, that's not when to tell him about his mistakes. You mourn with those who mourn. The Bible does not say counsel those who mourn or teach those who mourn. So in the time of anger, we consider and we learn. And when anger is tamed, then we instruct. So I will have to reserve a lot of my comments about that. But what I say to every Black man out there is that you are a man and you are enough. You are a woman and you are enough. Your hand, your brain under God are enough to architect your newness and build your power. Growth is a human choice. Power is a human choice. Powerlessness is a state of the mind. Helplessness is a state of the mind. Nobody's going to give you what you deserve. You're going to have to take it. You're going to take it creatively and intelligently, right? So we have to be smarter, right? This is our reality, But I believe that some things are not going to go. Some people are going to make the choice to be racist till they die. It's not our job to worry about those guys. It is to build a parallel universe, right? That is parallel to the choice they have made, and to superimpose our own value on those kind of commitments. People have a choice. It's like a market. People have a choice to do whatever they want to do, but I have a choice to do whatever I want to do as well. So regardless of my history, I'm not going to sit down and say because my father was a fool or because my father was weak, therefore I have any trace of weakness inside of me. Regardless of my history, I have a chance to reboot on a daily basis. And to reboot, I have turned, and my power remains with me. So I will be powerful. It's a choice. I will be respected. It is a choice. You see, I tell people you can't disrespect me. It's not a choice you have. The way I put myself out, the way I carry myself, respect is your natural response to me. If you disrespect me, it's my fault. When people, if you tell me I'm stupid, I'm not going to tell you I'm not.
Well,
Larry, if you tell me now, PK, you are stupid, I won't tell you, really, I'm not stupid. I'm not even going to defend myself. Because, first of all, there must be a way you measure stupidity.
Yeah.
And if you say I am stupid, you must believe I have met the standard
Of
of your
stupidity.
definition of stupidity.
Yeah.
So if I'm really humble, I'm not going to say I'm not stupid. In fact, I'm going to ask you, oh, really, why do you think so? Because I want to know your own standard. Maybe I'm stupid. How do I know I'm not stupid? I think it's arrogant to say I'm not stupid. Maybe I'm actually stupid. So I'm going to ask you, oh, why do you think I'm stupid? If you say, well, I don't know, I just think you are stupid. Then I know you are stupid.
Yeah.
And even at that level, I don't owe you my response.
Yeah.
You know, as the highest celebration of my balance and the deepest acknowledgement of your own ignorance, I have to ignore you and walk away.
Yeah.
So your opinion about me is your right. You know, if you believe I'm foolish, it's your right. You have a right to believe anything you want, but it doesn't change who I am. It doesn't change who you are. And we have to negotiate from that place. If you spit on $100, it won't become $50.
At all.
It's still $100.
Yes.
If you step on $100 and call it a nigger, it's
The
still
value
$100. The value remains the same. So it is that constancy we have to focus on and cultivate our own strength from there. But we have to choose what power we want to wield in this world, because nobody gives you your place. You have to do it, you have to take it, and you have to take it intelligently in a way that offers peace and balance to the world. Wow. Powerlessness is a state of the mind, and helplessness is as well.
Wow. Before we go, I have one more question on ideas and how to guide your ideas at the moment. But I want to reach out to all our guests around the world. This is the Global Talkative Series. We're having a double back-to-back edition today with Olakunle Shoreyan, the man of many parts. And then if you want to get to know him more, to get to know about him, his works, quickly go to learn.kennethshoreyanstore.com. Viewers are asking, where can we get his books? Where can we get his information? It's there on the screen if you're watching us on Instagram, on YouTube, and on Facebook. Go to learn.kennethshoreyan.com. And our topic today is, I have my idea, living intentionally beyond the pandemic. And I would say thank you for Toby Olaiton, Reverend Femi Oduwole. Thank you for joining us. Thank you so much.
That's my man. That's my man. That's my man. Man of God.
Tomi Adeyemi, thank you. Valerie Jebose Okaigo, thank you. And for those who are joining us on Instagram, we appreciate you so much. And if you have questions, we've got about like 10 minutes there about for Pastor Kunle to just answer some questions. We have Pokwala Kunle said, racism is also a result of depravity of humanity. It's one of the strategies of the devil. Yeah, you're right in that way. And he said, this was a brilliant, and that is the truth. So, Pastor Kunle, I have one question. You know, in terms of ideas, you made us to realize that ideas they have expiry date. Yes. But at some point, when you have ideas, how and what do you need to do? You know, because some folks will tell you, I have this idea, but I need the money to execute my ideas. But I've come to prove that is wrong, because most of my ideas and initiatives I'm doing now, even in Canada, you know, given the little time I've spent here, I've started them with nothing, without money. I've learned to, you know, put the idea forward and working towards it. But what do you do when you are in a state in which you have this idea that really you need some form of help? You know, how do you get that help? How do you go about getting the necessary help you need to bring forth your ideas? Because in some ways, some ideas are bigger than you. Like I have some projects I'm working on now that I can't do alone. And I have to be very strategic in who I relate those ideas with. But for those of our viewers who are asking, I have this idea, even though I know I don't have to have all the money to start, how do they go about harnessing resources? What can they do, you know, in a simple way?
Yeah, so what I say to people is that God will not put your miracle beyond your reach, and He will not put your miracle in the hands of your adversary. God will never put your miracle beyond your reach. God doesn't extend value to you. You're about to get it, and then He's taking it far away from you. No. You know, so when people tell me I have an idea, I cannot execute, I need money, it doesn't sit well with me because that's not natural. That God has designed, resource to come to you. Do you know anyone? Do you know anyone who can send you on errand without giving you the resources to execute that errand? That must be an oppressor.
Yeah.
That must be a wicked person that will tell you, go to buy me this, and they won't give you the money to make the purchase. There's something called purchasing power. It's as powerful as instruction. And it is a setup to offer an instruction without that empowerment of purchasing power. Right? In economics, it's called effective demand. We call it effective demand. Demand that is backed up with purchasing power. So God does not just make a demand where he has not invested. No. God doesn't make a demand where he has not invested. Even economics does not agree with that. God will have to be unfair to do that. In economics, we have what we call effective demand. That is, demand is effective when it is backed up with purchasing power. So God cannot ask you to get stuff done and you don't have the resources. Something must be fundamentally wrong. And usually, from my own research as a consultant and from my experience in helping people make the move from point A to point B, and doing that for over 20 years now, I have found some things to be true. Part of that is when people have ideas, maybe they think that they need $1 million to execute the idea. They need $1 million, okay? Maybe they need $1 million because they are starting the idea at level 20.
Okay.
At level 20. When you are executing an idea at level 20, so you may need 1 million.
Yeah.
Maybe if you are starting the idea at level 15, just an example, you may need $800,000. If you start the idea at level 10, maybe all you need is $300,000. Right? If you start the idea at level 5, maybe all you need is $50,000. If you start the idea at level 3, maybe all you need is $10,000. If you start the idea at the very first step, level 1, maybe all you need is $2,000.
Yeah.
You see? So a lot of times people say, I need $50 million. I need $20 million. But when you go close to them, that's not what they need. That is where they have chosen. It's like somebody wants to get married and he says, I need $20,000 to get married. That's your choice. To get married, all you need is your wife or your husband, the approval of your parents, and a pastor or a priest in front of you in a room, and you are married. Every other thing is your choice. If you now go cook rice and supply the best barbecue and all of that, that is the choice. It's not a wedding you are doing. It's a type of wedding you are now asking for. If it is wedding, you just need a priest, a pastor, you need your parents' approval, you need your spouse, both of you there, and in a room, in 30 minutes, we can end the wedding. If you now need guests, 100 people by the pool, that is not just wedding again. That is wedding plus preference. That is wedding plus preference. That is what you are looking for. Now, in the same way, when you have an idea, all you need to execute that idea is either in your pocket or in your network.
Yeah.
Ab initio. It's either in your pocket or in your network. And if you can't find the resource in your pocket and it's not in your network, the idea is probably avant-garde, ahead of its time, or is behind time. In other words, you are just going to go and crash it. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
Right? Okay? Or you are not collaborating enough. But to tell me that you don't have resources for the idea, that is not a natural condition. That is not normal. So a lot of times when you go near it, there's a lot of pride, there's a lot of selfishness, there's a lot of blindness. People say they need $10 million for an idea, but they don't want to share the idea. Why? They are afraid of the idea being stolen.
Yeah.
They don't want to lose the idea. And I tell people, if you are afraid of your idea being stolen, I'm sure you stole the idea yourself.
Whoa.
You see, so you know the path to the stealing. That is why you know it can be stolen from you. You know, they ask Walt Disney because once you are afraid of losing your idea to somebody else, you are a hireling. You are not a shepherd. You are not an idea shepherd. An idea shepherd is not even even if somebody steals it, you will be happier if he steals and executes.
That's
as an idea shepherd, you need the idea in the world, regardless of how it gets there. You know, if you keep an idea to yourself because you don't want to lose it, or they didn't give you enough percentage in the valuation, you know, or they are offering you less for they want 40% to give you the money, you want to offer 10%, you know, and because of that you sacrifice the idea. You forgot that the idea is a window. It's going to expire right in your hand.
Yeah.
As an idea shepherd, your goal is to push the idea into the culture. Is to push the idea to the system. Even if I lose the idea and the thief of the idea executes it and takes it to the system, I'm happy.
Yeah.
So they asked Walt Disney. The way you talk about your idea, Walt Disney, are you not afraid they will steal this idea? Are you not afraid you will lose the idea? He said, no. They cannot steal as much as I can possibly create.
Wow.
They cannot steal as much as I can possibly create. That is an idea shepherd. The idea came from here. If you steal 20, I will create 21.
Yeah.
If you steal 50, I will create 51. You know, that's the way the Brazilian team used to play soccer some years ago. They don't used to put emphasis on defense. The Brazilian philosophy is if you score 5, we will score 6. If you score 3, we will score 4. We just attack. You know, if you score, so you are not being defensive. And so some people are too guarded and too defensive, and they don't mind the idea not seeing the light of the day in the name of protecting the idea. If you loosen up, if you stay open, you kill prejudice, you defeat your preferences, and you open up to the experience of the idea in the world, there's always enough juice to take it all the way.
Wow. I'll ask one more question, I promise, and that'll be all. Now,
it's okay.
When you're talking about ideas that some people are afraid of collaborating, or they don't want to collaborate. Now, I have the idea, but I want to collaborate. What are the steps that I should take? What are the points that I should look out for in collaborating with the right set of people? What are signals that should give me that, okay, these are a set of good people I'm willing to collaborate my ideas with? Some have good, genuine ideas, but the ideas land in the hands of a wrong person, and then they mess it up.
I get you. Yes, true.
So, what are the signals to look out for in collaborating with the right people for ideas to get traction, for the world to see?
Great. I think the first thing is document the idea. I think you have to document the idea in a format that can be dated, because you know people don't know that copywriting is not just about going to a lawyer. Once you get something to the public, it has automatic protection. It's yours. So if somebody comes to somebody with that thing a day after, because you put it out in the public domain or in a format that is dated, they will, by law, that person is out of that case because he brought his own out after your date.
Wow.
So it's about date. Copyright is about date. It's not about lawyers signing anything. It's first about date. So I always tell people, why don't you put your idea in a format, create a business model canvas, create a subdomain somewhere that is dated so that it's clear. The day you open the site, the day you put the contents there, all of that can be checked, So once you do that, because the owner of the idea is the first person that the law, acknowledges. Not the first person that gets the idea. Is who documented the idea first. That is the owner of the idea. If you've had the idea for 10 years and somebody documented it before you, you are the copy. He is the original.
Wow.
The original is not the person who conceptualized. It's the person who documented as the owner.
And release it first.
And release it first. So the first thing you do is document the idea. Don't keep the idea in your head. Nobody knows you have an idea in your head. You don't own it in your head. You don't own it until the law says you do. You don't own it until the law says you do. Even if it is in your head, you are not the owner until the law says you do. You are making it even easier for the energies of the world to give the idea to somebody else.
Wow.
But if you have documented the idea, even the energies of the world, the elements of the world are arrested. They have to come and work with you to execute that idea.
Wow.
Because even if somebody receives the same idea in his own bedroom and wants to execute it, you can call lawyers and say, he stole it from me. And then say how? Say, I documented it first. So even if he did not steal it from you, he is culpable. The law will tell him to hands off and step down. Because you are the first person to document it. You see? So document it in a format, publish it in a format. Don't be afraid. Write the idea, capture it, and then document it. When you document it, it doesn't have to be for everybody to see. You know, but the people you want to discuss with, you don't give them a login to go and see it where you have published it already. So it's a published idea, albeit being viewed and seen by the stakeholders that you are sharing it with. But they all know that you are published this thing. Automatically, you have the copyright. And it's there. 2020 copyright, all rights reserved. It's there. By law, even if you don't go to any lawyer, you are the owner. You sealed it.
That confirms what the book Habakkuk said. Writing it down. Even though it's not getting traction.
Put it down.
Manifest.
That's it. That's it. So you put it down. First thing is to do is to put it down. That's your deposit. Once you've documented it, right? Then watch out for capacity. There's no point talking to people with the capacity. We don't have the capacity to advance your cause. It's not about being nice. It's not about they are my family members or they are my church members or all of that doesn't move an idea. So you need people with demonstrated capacity. And when I say capacity, I'm not even talking about spiritual capacity, not their ability to pray, ability to fast. I'm talking about their demonstrated usable experience in this regard. They have the capacity to drop money or to bring the people that have the money. But first of all, can they rephrase the idea to you? Can they even understand the idea? After you give them access, do they understand it? So work with people who understand the idea. That is part of capacity. Work with people who have the resources. Either they have the money or they have the people who have the money. Like I tell people, I don't have a lot of money, but I have a lot of people who can have any money for any idea. If somebody brings an idea to me and you need $1 billion, I mean, I don't have $1 billion, but I have people who have that money. And I just need to believe in the idea. We move the idea to them. If they believe it, the idea will fly. The idea will roll. So look for people with capacity, demonstrated capacity, that is very key. Then look for people with demonstrated integrity. With demonstrated integrity. And integrity is not, there's no one definition of integrity. The integrity you need is the one that is aligned with your values. Somebody can have integrity, but it's not contemporary. And I have an idea that is going to go into mainstream culture. And it's too religious to understand it. He has integrity, but I don't need that integrity. Integrity that cannot go mainstream is frustration. I don't need that. So there are people who are going to play religion. They have integrity in that they don't steal, they don't rob, they don't cheat, they don't do all of that. But if you can't interpret an idea mainstream, you lack social integrity as well.
And
you're not a man. To me, you're not a man of integrity. You are moral, but you don't have integrity. Integrity in engineering, there's a way there's a course in engineering called strength of material. You can test the integrity of a foundation. You can test the integrity of this watch. If this watch cannot tell time, it has lost integrity.
Exactly.
So a lot of people are morally conscious, but they lack, the integrity to execute, to implement, idea and to take it mainstream. So there are people who can be Christian all their life, they can be religious all their life, but they don't know how to shape culture in Hollywood, for example. They'll be stranded. They don't even know what to do. They'll just tell you to be singing for them in church. Who are you? Who is church in the world? You know. So ideas. Let me tell you something. Jesus is Lord on CNN. It's more powerful. Jesus is Lord on a Manport show on CNN. It's more powerful than Jesus is Lord in 10,000 churches combined.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you have an idea, and I'm looking at an idea that CNN can talk about, an idea that Fox News can talk about, an idea that Forbes magazine can talk about, an idea that The Economist can analyze, and you have a problem with that, an idea that Hollywood can capture, and you have a problem with that, you may have all the money, you may have all the integrity, you may be the associate pastor in the church or the senior pastor of the church, you may be all of that, but you don't have contemporary integrity to communicate an idea in a usable, transferable format for everyday issues of contemporary life.
Wow, that is amazing.
So it's not enough to connect with people who are around you, go to your church. Their minds, they may not have empires of the mind. You know. That's what's his name? The former Prime Minister of England, the Second World War wartime Prime Minister. Winston Churchill. It was Winston Churchill that spoke about the empires of the mind. You know, that's not something that is in everybody. I'm sorry to say. Some people, you know, there's a level of capacity they don't carry. You know, a fan can share the methodology of a blade with a plane. A plane and a fan both share the methodology of a blade, but the fan can never take off. Wow. It can blow. Both the fan and the airplane, both have blades. But the blade of the fan cannot make it take off. What it takes to take off is not in the fan, period.
Wow.
No matter how long it blows, it's not going to take off. The capacity to take off is not in it, period.
Wow.
So not everybody can contain. So particularly when we speak, I know you, I know the way you are thinking. For somebody like you, you know, you have ideas that want to shape culture. You have ideas that want to go as high as anywhere in the world. So part of what you want to do, and I tell people, understand yourself so that you can understand your idea, and then you can be selective about who qualifies for association with that idea.
Exactly. Wow. Wow.
So you have to be selective about who qualifies for association with that idea.
That is amazing. That is amazing. You know, our audience, let me say this for the first time. Pastor Kule was talking about Black History Month. I just want to go in depth, but I'm throwing it out that come February 2020, we're having Ethnic Festival of Art and Culture. It's an annual Black History Month celebration that we organized here, and it's the premier Black History Month celebration in Alberta and the rest of Canada. And we're asking Pastor Kunle to come down to Calgary.
I'm there.
I'm asking you guys, it's February 26, 27 in Calgary, 28 in Edmonton. 3 days, you know, it's going to be awesome. We have some other Hollywood guests coming in and icons in the entertainment industry, culture shapers from around the globe, making it down to Calgary. You are airing it for the first time here on the Global Series, Ethnic Festival of Art and Culture, 26, 27, and 28 of February 2020. We are open and we're praying that the pandemic curve will have been flattened. Hello. How are you guys? And you know, we just have about a minute more. And I want to say thank you for all our viewers from around the world. Ayuafode, Grace Oshuni, Dr. Inka Marcos, Abu Oluyemisi, Tobi Olaiton, Reverend Femi Ojuwole, Tomi Ajayi, Valerie Jebose.
Reverend Femi, I say hi, enough respect. I love you. It's good to have you here, sir.
And so many who are watching us on Instagram. We're going to be going off on Instagram in about 10 seconds. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. We love you for joining this episode of today. We'll see you again very soon. Thank you so much. Pastor Kule, thank you so much.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you so much.